by saying good.
Take me back to Liberia, where the drums still play my song. Take me back to my homeland. It's the place where I belong.
LIB Future TV, giving voice to progressive Liberians, speaking about politics, entertainment, and local news.
New Year resolution and try to ensure that all of those plans you had, the actions you were supposed, to employ in order for you to get hold and of those New Year resolution be grasped as soon as possible, because the climax of the year is waving at each of us to embrace it. However, I'd like to say greetings from our portion of our today broadcast. Again, I'm Isaac S. George, and being joined by Lavetta Davis, who is going to read for us our news this evening. Lavetta Davis, good evening.
Good evening, Isaac George. How you doing? Are you getting me?
Lavetta, we cannot hear you. Good evening.
Good evening, Isaac. Are you hearing me now?
Hello, Lavetta.
Yeah, hello. Are you getting me?
Yes, we are getting you now. Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. And you?
Yes, I'm doing fine as well. So, as usual on the National Discourse, we have you reading for us our own part of the local dailies, the major happenings across the country. So, as usually, you do read for us our news. So, please do.
All right, let me say good evening to our listeners in Radio Land and those watching us via our Facebook page, LIB Future TV. Welcome to today's trending news update with me, Lavetta Davis. Cummings outlines ambitious first 100-day agenda for Liberia. Alternative National Congress and former presidential candidate Alexander Cummings has unveiled an ambitious first 100 days agenda to outline the immediate actions his administration will take upon assuming office, focusing on economic recovery, job creation, agriculture, public sector reform, security, and governance. According to a policy document, a Cummings administration pledged to begin delivering real change from its first day in office, emphasizing that work starts right away and promising no state-funded inaugural celebration. The document states that the administration's early priority will be addressing salary payment challenges for government employees while improving wages and working conditions for civil servants, security personnel, healthcare workers, and teachers. The plan also proposed a broad economic stimulus package, including microloans for small businesses and market women, alongside the establishment of a $20 million United States dollars empowerment fund to support women and youth-owned enterprises and provide financing for farmers. To stimulate private sector growth, the ANC proposed administration pledge to freeze all existing taxes and regulations while reviewing the country's business environment to make it more investment friendly. Agriculture featured prominently in the agenda, with plans to convene our farmers' agricultural experts to develop strategies aimed at doubling Liberia's rice production within 2 years, reducing the price of rice by 25%, and improving the quality of locally produced rice. The document further emphasized enforcing Liberianization policy by auditing businesses reserved exclusively for Liberian citizens and strengthening the Liberian procurement policy across government institutions. On youth empowerment, the proposal calls for the establishment of a national youth service program, rehabilitation initiatives for disadvantaged youth, and immediate job creation through public infrastructure projects, including the rehabilitation of schools, health facilities, and sanitation systems. Infrastructure and governance reforms also form part of the first 100-day agenda. The plan proposed reviewing port operations for improved import and export efficiency, tackling the country's solid waste management practice, implementing police reforms to enhance public safety, and improving the distribution of essential medicines to hospitals and clinics. Cummings also pledged a tougher stand on drug trafficking by signing legislation to make drug smuggling and related offenses non-bailable, launching a nationwide anti-drug campaign, and strengthening law enforcement against narcotics. Additionally, he outlined plans to review tax waivers and exemptions to improve government revenue collection, simplify the tax code, prioritize national budget spending towards essential public services, and introduce e-governance policies to improve transparency and standardization across government. The first 100-day agenda was presented as an early action roadmap intended to demonstrate how a Cummings administration will prioritize economic reforms, governance, public service delivery, and national development immediately upon taking office. Front Page Africa reports that Liberian authorities are still trying to stop the cargo ship RP Atlante RV, which entered Liberian waters near River Seas, but stay out of reach. Major General Follett told Front Page Africa that the armed forces of Liberia, with help from Nigerian partners, have been tackling the ship. But the operation has been difficult because Liberia has limited sea patrol resources, the weather has been bad, and the ship has moved further into deep waters. Authorities are also asking Authorities are also looking into whether a video linked by an airfield soldier warned the ship's crew and helped them escape. The operation was also delayed while Liberia waited for permission from Sierra Leone, where the ship was first located. The case started after the ship was refused permission to dock in Monrovia because of suspicious concerns. It is also linked to ongoing investigation into major cocaine seizures in Liberia. The ship is still being watched, but officials do not yet know what will happen or what cargo it is carrying. Monrovia Consolidated School System allegedly caught red-handed stealing current at Liberia Electricity Corporation transitions government institutions to prepaid system. The Liberia Electricity Corporation has disconnected the Monrovia Consolidated School System after allegedly discovering that the institution had been illegally consuming electricity for several months. During an exercise on Tuesday, August 4, 2026, to transition government institutions from the postpaid to the prepaid electricity system, the LEC team led by the Revenue Department uncovered an illegal connection to the national power grid at the MCSS premises, allowing the institution to consume electricity fraudulently. As part of the same exercise, the Liberia Electricity Corporation also disconnected other government institutions, including Liberia Land Authority and the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, to facilitate their transition from the postpaid to the prepaid system. Under the new arrangement, the institution will no longer consume legislative before making payment. Instead, they will purchase legislative tokens in advance like other consumers. The LEC said the initiative is aimed at strengthening revenue generation, improving accountability, and cracking down on illegal legislative consumption. The exercise is expected to continue across other government institutions in the Liberia Immigration Service Commissioner General Elisha Rufus issued a strong warning to newly inducted LIS officers, urging them to uphold discipline, integrity, and professionalism while rejecting all forms of corruption. Addressing the officers on Monday, Commissioner Elisha Rufus emphasized that serving in the list is a privilege, not an entitlement, reminding the officers that countless young Liberians aspire to join the institution, urging them to approach their responsibilities with the right mindset. Commissioner Rufus cautioned the officers against using their position for personal gain, particularly through extortion or harassment of foreign investors and business people. The list boss noted that officers dismissed for misconduct will be publicly identified, a consequence he said could seriously damage their future employment prospects. He also dismissed the belief that political influence or personal connection could protect officers from disciplinary action, stressing that accountability will apply equally to everyone. MCSS Teachers Association President Yomo demands the immediate dismissal of Dr. Augustine Okura over alleged financial mismanagement threatens nationwide disobedience. The Monrovia Consolidated School System Teachers Association has threatened nationwide civil disobedience across public schools. Failure for President Bouaka to dismiss MCSS Superintendent Dr. Okuri Stevens over allegation of administrative failure and financial mismanagement. Addressing a news conference Monday, Monrovia Consolidated School System Teacher Association President Augustine Yumu accused Superintendent Stevens of failing to implement the March 27, 2025 agreement reached between government and the Teachers Association regarding salary increment based on teachers' academic qualifications. Yomu alleged that funds collected from approximately 18,000 students for information and communication technology education during the 2025-2026 academic year were not utilized for the intended purpose. The association also accused Dr. Stevens of mismanaging public resources while allegedly employing associates and awarding them inflated salaries at the expense of teachers' welfare. He however, called on President Bouaka to immediately dismiss Dr. Okori Stevens and restore confidence in the institution's administration. Alleged girlfriend, the Asset Recovery and Property Retrieval Task Force has filed a motion before Criminal Code C asking the court to refuse jurisdiction over the latest criminal appearance bond submitted by former Chief of Protocol Nora Finabono, arguing that the matter is already before the Supreme Court in Chambers. According to the motion, Arab contains that Criminal Code C lacks the authority to entertain Bono's criminal appearance bonds because Associate Justice Yusuf Kabal, sitting in Chambers, has already assumed jurisdiction over the dispute following the filing of a petition for a writ of prohibition. The motion states that Bono's criminal appearance bonds were approved on July 30, 2026, and subsequently filed with the clerk of the first judicial sacred criminal code C on August 3, 2026. However, Arab argues that the filing came while the legality of proceedings before Criminal Code C remains under review by the Supreme Court. According to the filing, Justice Kabah assumed jurisdiction over the matter on July 22, 2026, when he cited all parties to appear for a conference scheduled for Tuesday, August 4, 2026 at 3 p.m. The conference concerns Bono's petition for a writ of prohibition challenging a ruling previously handed down by the presiding judge of Criminal Code C regarding the justification of sureties. Arab maintains that because the Supreme Court Justice in Chimac has already taken jurisdiction over the petition, Criminal Code C should refrain from taking any further Matthias' appearance bonds until the higher court determines the issues raised proceedings. The task force jurisdiction over the bonds and await the outcome of the state in investigate. Resident of Unification City F. Kennedy Medical Center following an alleged assault, with police detaining a suspect as investigation into the death continues. The victim, J.C. Johnson, reportedly died on Sunday, August 2, after receiving treatment at the Unification Town Clinic, where his mother reportedly provided him with 2,000 Liberian dollars for medical expenses. He was later referred to Manjua Hospital and subsequently transferred to JFK, where he died despite medical efforts. Police identified the suspect as Anthony Woloba, 32, alias Georgiano, also of Unification City. Preliminary reports from the Liberian National Police Crime Services Department to one basis Johnson's mother, Masoye Kamara, alleged that her son told her Woloba assaulted him on July 29 at a local garage by jumping on him and kicking him 3 times in the abdomen. Police said both men later reported the incident at the Unification City Police Depot, where officers reportedly held Woloba responsible for the assault and instructed him to ensure Johnson received medical treatment. She, however, alleged that the directive was not carried out. Woloba remains in police custody as the investigation continues, with the police assuring that official cause of death and other investigative findings will determine whether criminal charges will be filed. That was the latest news update. My name is Lovetta David. Good evening.
We like to thank you, Lavera Davis, for joining us this evening to read for us our news. We hope that tomorrow evening we can have you again joining us for our next edition on the National Discourse on Kia 95.9 FM. Fellow Liberians, again, I'm Isaac S. George, and I like to say to those of you that are joining us in Radio Land, good evening once more. This is the National Discourse. We like to say thank you for forming part of our conversation and our today's, edition of our today's broadcast. And those of you that are following us live on LIB Future TV, we like to say thank you for joining us this evening in the land of the social media via Facebook or whatever international or social media means for which you are following us. This is the National Discourse, and as we usually say, this is a platform that bring together under its umbrella several other major national happenings across our country and we gave our own, candid analysis as it relates to all of those major happenings highlighted during the course of the week, and provide an analytical overview of what we think is pertinent and essential for the public to hear. We also, go beyond that by giving the public or the listening audience an opportunity to have their say, either countering some of the opinions we may have proffered, or perhaps, concurring with those ideas that we were able to proffer, as the opportunity is being given. That is why, a platform such as this one has been created, fellow Liberians, so that issues of national concerns can be discussed, and the audience be given an opportunity to have their own say pertinent to all of those issues being discussed. So again, I'd like to say thank you for joining me this evening. Those of you in Radio Land and those of you that are following us live, I'm Isaac S. George, in your company this evening from now up on to 9 o'clock. We will be having a very fascinating conversation about wide range of issues across, and I look forward to your own participation on this particular platform. Recently over the weekend, to be specific in terms of exactitude, we realized that a strange cargo appeared on the shores of Liberia. I don't know, but strange things are happening across our country in the recent time, and it is imperative that we speak to these matters. The reason why these matters are essential to be spoken to is because it borders on the image of our country and all of the major happenings that are very, very much essential to either drive this country to a positive progressive path, or place our country in the tourney of regression. We need to have this conversation. That is why our attention has been drawn to this cargo ship, this particular cargo ship. I was following live when the personnel of the armed forces of Liberia were getting prepared. I saw them, wearing their armor, getting prepared in the boat, and I think 14, or yes, I stand to be corrected, but over 14 of them, got on that particular boat, as you say, and they wanted to reach at or to the vessel they wanted. But the news that we've been able to hear in recent time is that the vessel as well is, further going away from them, even though they have gone to carry out an investigation. I don't know. And as per what we've learned, the vessel has stayed on the shores between Sierra Leone and Liberia for days. For days now, fellow Liberians. We don't know who owned the vessel. We don't know what the vessel is made up of or is comprised of, but it is being seen on our waters. It is now being seen on our waters. And as AFL personnel approach the vessel goes further away from them. It is something that I think the government of the day should be able to take siege of. It is a matter that the government should exert every frantic effort to ensure that they have that particular matter under control. Because the maritime authority accordingly have refused the presence of the vessel in our country, which is why it was stagnated between Sierra Leone and Liberia. As per reports currently, it has reached Riverside County. fellow Liberians, we do not know what is ongoing because we have not gotten any tangible or an information that we can confidently state that these are some of the things that are transpiring on our shows, and we should, as a nation state, be able to look at it and be able to critically examine as per what has been demonstrated across. That is why we are saying the government of the day should be able to employ much more effort to get this matter under control, under siege, and the speculation can be abated or placed under the carpet. Because now people are just speculating, people are just saying what they do not know or what they heard from a third party or perhaps hearsay they say. So we must, as a country, be able to have those matters being placed under our own control. We want to know who are those operating the vessel, what does the vessel contain, who are those on the vessel, where is the vessel coming from, where was the vessel I supposedly heading to. We should investigate, we should get to understand everything that is ongoing. We should everything that is ongoing, we should be able to investigate those matters. So we want to commend the armed forces of the Republic of Liberia, for taking the first step in ensuring that they go towards the vessel and determine what is particularly comprising of the vessel, and what is entailing the vessel in the fashion where is it going, where is the projected area, who are those that are operating the vessel, because I believe that there are people on the vessel, those individuals are from a certain place, and we should be able to determine as it relates to who are those individuals that from this particular certain place that do not want to disclose their own identity to perhaps the Liberian people and the authorities that are responsible to ensure that such a matter be handled in a professional fashion as well as a credible and intelligent way, so that the philosophy of our professionalism can prevail, and to ensure that credibility is being shown in the execution of their duties and responsibility. That is what we are intending to say. That is our own attempt, as we call on the government to ensure that that particular matter be placed under siege and the public be informed pertinent to everything that comprise, that particular vessel, and what we can do as a nation state to ensure that the vessel is being cleared of all of the rumors, all of the hearsay, they say. I mean, all of those things can be placed to bear. I believe that the armed forces of the Republic of Liberia is not one institution that is shrouded in politics, that believes in providing a haphazard sense of information to the public, but they will provide a detailed, comprehensive, and a very credible, information to the Liberian people, where we, as information gatherers, can be able to conceive the information in a fashion that will not be able to encourage us to raise a certain questions and generate slews of doubts regarding everything that is ongoing. The reason why we are raising these concerns is because strange things have been happening across our country, and everything that is a semblance of strangeness must be critically analyzed, investigated, and the public must be informed as it relates to all of those happenings across our country. Indeed, that is why we are attempting to say to the members of the armed forces of Liberia Coast Guard that they should do the needful. They should employ frantic professional military effort. Yes, they should. And all of those efforts that they are to employ must be employed in the confines of military operation and respecting the philosophy and doctrine of militarism on the shores of our country. On the shores of our country. So, fellow Liberians, I like to say again that we have our eyes on that particular matter. We look forward to the AFL, the matter just commenced. So we cannot be able to accuse anyone. We cannot, vividly with on undebatable facts in a very confident fashion say these are the people involved, those are the things that are on the vessel. We are not going to misinform those of the people that usually listen to us and those of the people that follow via the internet. But what we are urging the government to do through the armed forces of Liberia Coast Guard is to employ much more professionalism and ensure that the doctrine of authenticated military might or military operation be seen so the Liberians that are following this matter can be proud, can feel extremely excited by the reality that members of the armed forces of Liberia are doing such a tremendous job and they are ensuring that the coast of Liberia is protected, guarded jealously. And not anything can just appear on our shores and go scot free, or anything can just dock at the free port of Monrovia and go scot free. So, fellow Liberians, I like to say again, we are gratified by the opportunity given to us to sit on this platform, on Kia Radio 95.9 FM every Tuesdays and Wednesdays evening to have conversations surrounding our country, our nation, and so forth. Again, I'm Isaac S. George. Our first talking point here this evening is the vessel that was just been discovered on, on our shows, on our waters, and we are thanking the armed forces of Liberia for such a discovery, and we are also admonishing them to employ strategic military, effort so that the Liberian people as well can be informed as it relates to the status of the military operation and what does that particular vessel entail and who are those individuals that are on the vessel, what is their mission in our country, what are they doing on our waters. We should be able to get informed about that. And these are some of the questions we are asking as Liberians, news gatherers, and people who find extreme interest in the daily matters of our country. So if you are just joining us, this is Kia Radio. This is Kia Radio 95.9 FM, and this is the National Discourse. And I'm Isaac S. George this evening in your company, and we're having conversations surrounding, trending national issues. On yesterday, Senator Sam Koga, from the Movement for Democratic Reconstruction, I think the party established by the late Senator of Nimba County, Prince Wa Johnson. If history is, very good to me or magnanimous enough to me, I think that particular political institution was being recognized in the 2004, 2005, or prior to the 2005 and 2006 presidential and general elections, and an election for which, the late Honorable Senator Prince Wa Johnson did participate, and he emerged as one of the persons who pulled the numbers, but unfortunately very distant from the two main contestants during the period of that particular election. It was heavily contested between George Weah and that of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and former President George Weah after having won the 2017, general elections. But when I listened and followed the interview of Senator Koga yesterday on OKFM, when Julius J quizzed him on several national issues as well as local issues within the county which he represents, the Nimba County. And one of those things Mr. Koga stressed on, and I like to use this medium to emphasize, which is a very key point for which we have found an immense interest in, and we should be able to add our voice to that particular debate of his or that argument of his in our own personal fashion, so that people can have a conception of what we think the senator meant to convey to the listening audience on yesterday when he sat with Julius J on the platform. One of the things he talked about is the fact that the elders in Nimba County, were he to be asked to be vice president tomorrow, as we all look forward to the 2029 presidential and general elections, Senator Koga is saying that were he to be asked tomorrow as it relates to the major happenings in these times and to serve as vice president, he is not going to immediately refuse the position of being a vice president, because Honorable Kun is the current vice president. Honorable Jeremiah Kun may likely, fellow Liberians, serve as the running mate for the second time to His Excellency President Joseph Yuman Boakai. And in that vein, another son of Nimba County may be asked to serve as a running mate to a presidential candidate or aspirant. And he said that he will go to Nimba and ask the elders in Nimba County for their own wisdom as it relates to how they are going to conceive the message and analyze it. All right. And he will come back to said person and be able to either give a positive or negative response. And I want to say this. There are people who believe that Senator Koga should not contest as or should not accept any offer as vice running mate to any would-be presidential aspirant as we all move to 2029 presidential election. I think it is necessarily enough for us to understand the constitutionality surrounding such a matter. There is nowhere in the constitution of our country that two persons cannot serve as running mate. That two persons cannot serve as running mate from the same county to distinct presidential aspirants. And one of the revelations that Senator Koga made on the platform yesterday while he was interviewed by Julius J is the fact that Mr. Cummings, the political leader of the ANC, has been able to contact him pertinent to his workings in Nimba County, and Mr. Cummings has said to him in a very distinct form and manner, because Mr. Cummings is one of those distinguished political actors across our country. We'll have that conversation at the later part of the show, but I would just want to inject it a little bit as we move forward, right? That Koga can go with him as he go across the globe, as he attends other functions across our country. Koga is a good man. He respects Koga, workings across our country. He respects how he refinedly, get engaged with national conversation. And we should be able to respect Senator Koga. Senator Koga is one person that supported, this government to come to power. He did. He argued against the George Weah led administration, and he campaigned against the George Weah led administration. Today, the Unity Party is serving the Liberian people. Personally, I feel they are serving the Liberian people in a draconian manner that is perhaps a regression of the promises made to the Liberian people when they were contesting for state power and responsibility. But that is another part of the conversation, right? But what we are trying to convey here this evening, our fellow Liberians that are listening to us via radio, and those of you that are following us live, is the fact that Mr. Koga has the constitutional right to serve as a vice running mate to any would-be presidential aspirant or candidate as we all move forward to the 2029 presidential elections. And he has made that clear. And I'm coming from the backdrop of the constitutionality, the leverage and the opportunity given to him by the framers of our constitution that he can, as a senator, go as a running mate to a presidential candidate or a presidential aspirant. He reserves such a right. It is in the constitutionality of his Liberianness, as you say, as you use that word, right? And that is what Mr. Koga is saying. For the other part of his interview where other people were being accused, other people were being labeled, I do not want to delve into that because I do not delve into matters, such as that one. We speak to the meat of the conversation, and that is why we are telling you this evening, fellow Liberians, that Honorable Koga reserve all rights, to be able to serve as a running mate to anyone who is going to be a candidate in the 2029 ensuing presidential and general elections. So, this issue of drugs in our country is not going to be one of the matters which were just talked about, placed under the carpet, and every Liberian go about their business. It is not going to be like that. And I want to take my time very consciously to speak to this drug matter as I've always spoken to it. Indeed, I will. Because the moment we remain tight-lipped, the cartel, fellow Liberians, is going to augment its grip on our security sector, and everyone involved with this drug matter is not going to be brought to book. It's not going to be brought to book. Everyone engaged. That is why we want to say to each and every Liberian, as we have usually said, that the issue of drug in this country cannot be politicized. The issue of drug across our country is not a political matter, fellow Liberians. It is a matter that demands the involvement of every young Liberian, every old Liberian, every middle-aged Liberian, and every newly born Liberian. Whatever stage of life you are at this point in time, the contemporary Liberia requires the holistic, nationalistic, and patriotic assessment of this particular matter that we have been bedeviled by, that we are struggling with as a nation state, and it do not deserve any form of sympathy, empathy, as well as partiality. It does not. The reason it does not deserve it, because drug has a rippling effect, not just on the image of our country only, but on the social fabric of our country. The ramifications thereafter is so immense that it does not require us remaining tight-lipped. It does not. The reason why we intend to be very loquacious and talking, in a very verbose manner, fellow Liberians, is because drug has impacted the lives and livelihood of the young people of this country to a greater extent, and the availability of drugs in our country is so consequential enough such that we are going to rise from our slumbers and call on the government to be extremely robust in the fight against the issue of drugs in our country. That is what we are going to do, fellow Liberians. And that is why we are utilizing every means possible: our Facebook pages, the intellectual centers, the radio, the means that are available to us for us to speak to the issue of drugs in this country. Yeah, I, for one, is not going to be tight-lipped. I'm not going to be taciturn. In fact, if the cartel wants to silence some of us, they will not have an access, because we remain resolute to protect the image of this country. And by protecting the image of this country, one of the means we are going to demand answers. So let us get the matter very clear and honest here. The LDEA, the NSA, the Liberia National Police, the immigration, every security apparatus in this country, to a larger extent, individuals that hold high ranking positions have been found complicit in this entire drug saga. Some of them have been charged with criminal facilitations, aiding and abetting criminal conspiracy, and so forth. And recently, the Joint Security accordingly burned the 317 million worth of drugs in our country after having received order from Criminal Code C. I want us to be very clear and honest and frank as Liberians, that no one is contesting the idea that the drug was not burned. But the fashion, the manner in which the drug was burned, other people are questioning it. Because if you say methane and other high substances were at that place, and you saw people dancing, you saw people jubilating at the site for which the cocaine or the methane or the drug was being burned, for me, I have some questions to ask. Everyone within the circle of the police director, Gregory Coleman, have been found culpable of their involvement with this particular drug issue. They have been found culpable. That is why I want to agree with those people that are urging that the investigation be very, very independent, void of the involvement of the Liberia National Police. Yes. Because everyone around the police inspector general have been found culpable. Who gave the order for the highway patrol commander or the patrol commander of the Liberia National Police to escort a container that contained, drug. Who gave the order for our police vehicles to be used? Who gave the order to the patrol commander for the flag of Liberia and the property of our country to be used to escort drug to its expected location or expected destination, pardon? Who gave the order? We want to know. Another person accused the Inspector General of the Liberia National Police that he received 10,000 USD after he had given the 10,000 USD to the Inspector General. The Inspector General gave him 2,000 as a portion that is owned by him and took 8,000 USD from the individuals involved with this particular drug saga. On yesterday, operation man at the Monrovia Central Prison, was being handled by the NSA. He was being arrested due to his involvement with this entire drug saga. He gave his cell phone to those Spanish guys and those and the Spanish and Colombian guys to have conversation with the drug law in Spain and Colombia. And there were several mobile money transactions being made as per the investigation of the NSA. I don't know where we are headed as a country and people. I do not know where we are headed as a country and people, because those of the individuals that are clothed with the authority, those of the individuals that are supposed to protect us as a country and people have been involved. They have been found culpable. They are complicit in this entire ongoing drug saga in our country. Fellow Liberians, as I initially stated, the issue of drugs does not see a political party. It does not see a religion. It does not see a tribe. It does not see a section of the society. In that context, it harms everyone. Every one of us, one way or the other, have been victimized by the issue of drug in this country. And if we want to be particularly honest and deeply realistic with ourselves, we should be able to speak up. We should now start to speak up. If we cannot speak up now, then when? If we as Liberians refuse to speak up now, when are we going to speak up? When are we? When are we going to speak up, fellow Liberians? So if you are just joining us, this is Kia Radio. We're having conversations surrounding major national issues, and this is the National Discourse, a platform that renders you the opportunity to have your say as it relates to trending national issues. And after we shall have been able to give our own candid analysis, our own viewership of the matters at hand, and what we think is necessary to be stated as our own position statement and our analytical approach to the major happenings across our country. We then proceed beyond that, by giving you all the opportunity to have your own say. So that is why this platform is being, hosted and I operated, to have your own say and be able to contribute to national development through adding your voice and voices to all of the major happenings across our country. So we like to say, if you are just joining us, this is the National Discourse on Kia Radio 95.9 FM. So as I was saying, fellow Liberians, we must we must see to it that the issue of drug be tackled in the fashion and in the manner that will give us confidence as the investigation goes forward or moves forward. That is what we are intending to say. You know, the the deputy director for operations at the Roberts International Airport. Permit me to drink a little bit. The deputy director at the deputy director for operations at the Roberts International Airport. His name is Mark Queer. He was particularly linked to this entire drug issue. Drug is a non-bailable crime in our country. That is, the moment you are accused of getting involved into a drug matter, no one can bail you out. The first thing that the LDEA is going to do under their jurisdiction, as per their statutory responsibility, fellow Liberians, is to have you incarcerated, handcuffed, taken to prison immediately. Yes, you'll be arrested and put in jail. After which, your matter will be taken to the court for proper jurisdiction. That is why they are saying that the drug law is a non-bailable law. Yes, it doesn't matter who you are. Once you are involved, your name is being called, and the LDE or the joint security goes for you. You must be able to avail yourself and taken to prison. But Mark Queer, according to reports, have not been handcuffed. He has not been taken to prison. All that we know, fellow Liberians, is that Mark has only been suspended. Yes. And people are urging, media institutions and other reputable Liberians are urging that that action be beyond, that action be taken beyond just the sanctioning or the suspension of someone. No, like his other colleagues, Mark should be able to be taken to the Monrovia Central Prison. The joint security should muster the courage to take Mark to the Monrovia Central Prison, fellow Liberians. And that is the conversation we are having. That is what we are saying. That is what we are saying. Let Mark come and be taken to the Monrovia Central Prison, where his colleagues are, those that are involved. So we will move very quickly to a major talking point. But I just thought to outline those issues, and in the next 30 minutes, we will tell you, fellow Liberians, what Mr. Cummings has done. And in fact, by the way, Mr. Cummings will be interviewed on the on the closing argument this evening, right? if you've been following, I think you know that there is a you know that there is Mr. Cummings, who is serving as the political leader of the ANC, and he has, to a greater extent, remained very consistent in Liberia's border politics. But I want you to be informed. I want you to be informed as it relates to what Mr. Cummings has done from 2015 to 2025. From 2015 to 2025 is exactly 10 years. And a decade, a decade of consistency, humanitarian work, and his involvement in the Liberia border politics, even though he has been lied on, labeled, as well as castigated. Many people thought that this man would have capitulated under the whims of the numerous and barrage of allegations he encountered during those 10 years. But one thing I want to give thumbs up to Mr. Cummings for is his ability to remain particularly consistent in the wake of all of the ongoing happenings against his character. Against his character. And Mr. Cummings has been one person that has expended his individual resources through the Cummings Africa Foundation. In fact, we're used today and tomorrow to outline as to what Mr. Cummings has done, right? We're used today and tomorrow to outline those. Because many people have been asking, what has Mr. Cummings done? Let me tell you so you can know this, huh? When Mr. Cummings entered the Liberia border politics in 2015, in 2017, during the course of the elections, one of his economical ideas and policies that he proffered to the Liberian people at a debate, I think it was a LMDR debate at the time, he argued that our budget can reach $1 billion as well as exceed $1 billion. Mr. Cummings was not just making a mere projection. Mr. Cummings was making such a projection because, one, he lived the experience, he worked in complex societies, and he understands, as one may want to utilize that big word, the modus operandis, fellow Liberians, of how a country can move forward in terms of increasing its nation budget by spurring economic growth and enhancing public service delivery to the people for whom they serve. And that was one of Mr. Cummings' economical policies. Many people argued against that. Many people said, one, Mr. Cummings was making an unrealistic projection. Two, Mr. Cummings doesn't have the technical know-how, but they forgot to understand that this man is a business student and an economic student. He understands the economy. He knows exactly what can give the Liberian people the job they need, those opportunities they yearn for. And at that particular debate, he was very frank enough. Fast forward, today we have $1 billion budget. But the contrast is very telling, is vivid enough that one can see through it very clearly. And what is the contrast, fellow Liberian? When Mr. Cummings argued that the budget of our country can be 1 billion or more so the Liberians can benefit, He did not say over 77% of the budget for which he argued about would have been used on recurrent expenditures. That was not his argument. That was not his argument. Mr. Cummings has stressed very clearly that when the budget reaches 1 million, it should be in it should be in corroboration or in togetherness with the aspirations of the Liberian people. That is what Mr. Cummings has been arguing on over the years, over the 10 years of his existence in the Liberia's border politics. Yes, Mr. Cummings has argued that. He has argued it. He did not say that the speaker budget should be increased for entertainment. The pro-tem budget should be increased for entertainment. In fact, the pro-tem has a budget that is over 999,000, almost $1 million in the 2026 national budget line. The president's budget is more than the budget of a sector of our country. That has not been Mr. Cummings' idea. Mr. Cummings' idea has been the $1 billion budget should be a reflection of the Liberian people, their aspirations, their desires, their wishes. Yes. That has been Mr. Cummings' own idea. That has been Mr. Cummings' own idea. And he is very clear and apt. He is very clear and apt for us to have an understanding of what he has been trying to convey to us. So, fellow Liberians, permit me, those of you that are listening tonight, so that I can caution-tize you all that it is hard time for us to redirect the course of our country. We have been painfully hurt in this country for a very long time. Let me reduce it to our Liberians, our Liberian parlance. My people, the people not held off for long in the country. The way we now elect certain group of people them, and they're not doing anything enough for the country to move forward. They're not even putting in place certain mechanisms for us to move forward as a nation state. It is now time that we change the way we have been voting in this country and vote people that have not harmed us in any way, shape, form, and manner. This man will campaign that he is going to restore dignity to the Liberian people, but unfortunately, when he gets to power, he does what he was arguing against. It's so pathetic. People have been asking, what has Cummings done? What has Cummings done? Between 2016 and 2017, fellow Liberians, Mr. Cummings provided support in terms of tutorial to over 4,000 Liberians, young Liberians. Over 4,000 young Liberians. Yes. Between 2016 and 2017, he provided tutorial support for WIAC. We have been having this, monumental failure across our country in terms of WIAC. So his own contribution when it comes to, mitigating, curbing the failures of our young students across our country, he, as the presidential or candidate and aspiring political leader of the ANC, decided that no, I can step in this regard and I can ensure that we tutor our young people so that they can get prepared for the WIAC, the West African Examination Council exams. He has done that. Mr. Cummings did that. Mr. Cummings again spent 67,000 United States dollars when BWR was struggling for stability of electricity in our country, fellow Liberians. He's expended 66 or 67,000 USD, his own money, to purchase a 350 kVA generator. A 350 kVA generator to boost electricity availability at the Booker Washington East Institute. Nana government money. He did not steal that money from the Liberian people. It is his own money he worked for. But because he has love for this country, he believes in the future of this country, and he has a desire to change this country, fellow Liberians, he became very compassionate and shared a very grave experience that those students and administrators at BWI were experiencing at the time to ensure that they restore electricity there. 67,000 to purchase a 350 kVA generator. But mind you, that particular generator did not only give BWI electricity. The surrounding communities were affected, and they benefited immensely from that particular generator. You've been asking, what has Cummings done? We want to provide you a data and analytical data as it relates to what Mr. Cummings has done. Some of his interventions. Yes. Some of his interventions. This man also at the state-run university. You can go there today. He expended over 10,000 USD for the establishment of a modern computer lab in 2016. People have been asking, what has Mr. Cummings done? What has Mr. Cummings done? Mr. Cummings believes in STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. He believes in that. So we should be able to applaud him. We should be able to applaud him for his generous role played in showing that some of the blockades that certain people around here had, he intervened. Mr. Cummings intervened during those conditions. Yes, fellow Liberians, he intervened during the Ebola crisis. During the Ebola crisis, when Ebola was ravaging the lives and livelihood of our people here, fellow Liberians. Do you know what did Mr. Cummings do? Do you know what did Mr. Cummings do? He contributed immensely. He contributed so immensely that former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf awarded him the Humanitarian Award. Yes. During the COVID-19 in 2020 and 2021, Mr. Cummings provided 2 monetary donations and assorted medical material donations. 2. And I want to bring your attention to that. When COVID-19 scared everyone in the time, when COVID-19 scared everyone in this time, when Liberians were very, very feared of the presence of COVID-19. And in order to assuage that particular fear, in order to mitigate COVID-19 and its harm across our country, Mr. Cummings provided the Liberian government at the time in 2020 and 2021, just recently, the sum of 78,291 USD. Fellow Liberians, we are telling you not just of monetary contribution to this country, not because he wants to be president, but because he believes that the Liberian people deserve to be preserved. And such a thing as COVID-19, as it was ravaging our country, we as a nation state can combat it, and everyone involved, and everyone must get involved. And that is why Mr. Cummings got involved. But the question as to what Mr. Cummings has done for this country, what he is doing, what he continues to do, must be answered unabatedly. That is why we are bringing to our attention the donations made by Mr. Cummings. He also gave 109,802 United States dollars in 2021, fellow Liberians. He did that. He did that. So we should be very holistic enough in terms of asking questions, because not even our politicians, dead or alive, without having government money, without getting involved into public governmental services of this country, can match their contribution against Mr. Cummings' contributions in this country. Mr. Cummings, from 2016 or 2015, pardon, from 2015 up to present, Mr. Cummings have been able to give out scholarships, opportunities to young Liberians. He has expended over 106,000 USD. Go to the various universities across our country. Go to the various universities across our countries, across our country. There are Liberians, young Liberians, benefiting from the humanitarian gesture of Mr. Cummings. I tell you no lie. Go, do your fact checking, do your background check. He has contributed immensely. He is still contributing. He is still contributing. He has paid wide fees. Giving generator. Again, in 2016, fellow Liberians, when Liberians at the university were yearning for scholarship opportunities, Mr. Cummings went and established a $1 million or approximately $1 million financial aid program. He was not president by that time. He was not president. He had not worked in government to steal the Liberian people money and corrupt from the Liberian people. He had not at the period, fellow Liberians. And he did what he did. He did what he did. A almost $1 million fund drive, establish a scholarship financial aid for Liberians, young Liberians at the University of Liberia. Mr. Cummings did that. Mr. Cummings did that. But people keep asking, what has Mr. Cummings done? I know people will become very irritated by us telling you what has Mr. Cummings done before coming to Liberian politics or before contesting for the political position, which is contesting for the presidency. But this question of what has Mr. Cummings done, what Mr. Cummings do, what did Mr. Cummings do, we are trying to name to you what Mr. Cummings has done. And you must live with this reality because you cannot use politics to ignore the reality. Yes, Mr. Cummings may not have been the loudest politician who will do good and carry, media institutions behind him and tell the public, this is what I'm doing, this is what I've done. No. Accordingly, Mr. Cummings has said he respects the dignity of each person. And I want to respect him for that. But now that Liberians are asking these questions, we must be able to answer them appropriately. And that is what we are doing. Mr. Cummings has sponsored high school debates across this country. Mr. Cummings has sponsored high school debates. Yes. At the African Methodist Episcopal University, Mr. Cummings partnered with that particular administration and they provided scholarship for young Liberians going to that school in the tune of $1,673. I have the records in my possession. I'm not speaking off head. I'm speaking with records, authenticated records in my possession after having done those investigations. So you keep asking, what has Mr. Cummings done? What has Mr. Cummings done? Mr. Cummings now do plenty of things, my Liberian people. He now do plenty of things. That even if I start to use this time of our conversation to tell you what has Mr. Cummings done, would I leave from here? But Mr. Cummings has done a lot so greatly that I challenge anyone that is listening to me or following me via the internet to counter these arguments of mine. Because it has been a decade of service, a lifetime of impact. Yes, a decade of service to the Liberian people and a lifetime of impact. Because when someone sends you to school, that which you learn in school is going to be to live with you for the rest of your life, for the rest of your existence on this earth. That is why it is being started the lifetime of impact, a decade of service, providing his service to the Liberian people. Providing service to the Liberian people. Mr. Cummings again. Science and Technology School in Duparo. He spent over 120,000. 120,000. He had the Cummings Africa Foundation Health Infrastructure Support Project. Health Infrastructure Support Project. And I want us to zero in on this argument, right? In 2017, listen to the list of hospitals Mr. Cummings has contributed to in this country in the health sector through the distribution of medical equipments, as well as aiding them with infrastructure equipment. One, the C.S. Rennie Hospital in Kakata, Magibi County, C.B. Domba in Banga, Bon County, the government hospital in Grand Basso, the J.J. Dawson Hospital in Maryland County, the Coran Lutheran Hospital in Zozo, Lofa County, and JBDO Health Center in Fishtown River G, and even 2 clinics, Star of the Sea Clinic and West Point and Robert Moreau Clinic in Johnsonville in Monrovia. He has expended over 560,000 USD assisting those medical centers, almost over $500,000 United States dollars fellow Liberians, a decade of impact, a decade of service, pardon, a lifetime of impact. So Mr. Cummings has expended enormous amount of money in this country than any politician dead or alive. I tell you no lie. But we still have certain group of people, because they are beclouded by political sentiment, they are asking trivial questions as to what has Mr. Cummings done. We're not going to buy into such a chicanery. We're not going to buy into that. We're not going to purchase the idea. So this man who has not gone to government, who has not taken the Liberian people money, is contributing so immensely such that no politician in this country can compare their humanitarian support to this country to Mr. Cummings. The reason why we are amplifying this debate tonight is because certain group of people have been asking questions. What has Mr. Cummings done? Cummings is a very good man. Yes. Cummings is a very good man. Cummings is. So you see, this man has spent money from his pocket so that Liberians can go to school, so that Liberians can stay in hospitals, so that Liberian can, get impact. And certain people have refused to live up to that reality, but they are asking questions. But fellow Liberians, for the sake of education, that is why we are bringing to your attention we have not exhausted Mr. Cummings' humanitarian approach to this country, what he has done, his gesture. No, we have not exhausted. We have not even begun. We're not even touched the surface yet. We are just scraping over the surface, because he has done immensely. He has contributed so immensely. But we'll come here tomorrow. We'll come here the day after. We'll come here next week and be able to bring to your attention what this man has done in this country, so that those of the Liberians that are unaware or ill-informed as it relates to what Mr. Cummings has done can now be informed of what Mr. Cummings has done. So if you are just joining us, this is Kia Radio 95.9, and we are live on LIB Future TV. On the social media this evening, we like to say, those of you that have been following us, thank you so very kindly for following us via the radio, and also as well for following of us via the internet. We have been having conversation as it relates to our country, Mr. Cummings as the political leader of the Alternative National Congress, what he has done. And we'll tell you on tomorrow what Mr. Cummings will do in his first 100 days were he to be president of this country, analyzing it using a surgical analytical needle to dig deep into what he is going to do as the political leader of the state where he to serve as the next president of our country. So we will soon go to the line, but we've been discussing the cargo ship that was being, seen on our shows, on our watches, and the drug issue in our country, the involvement of high-ranking, security officers across, and Mr. Koga recent interview. We also talk about the RRA Deputy Director for Operations, why he isn't yet incarcerated when others involved, those of the other people involved with this particular matter have been incarcerated, and yet he is parading through the corridors of our country without being incarcerated? These are questions we intend to ask, and we continue to ask. And we are telling you, we are trying to educate you on what, fellow Liberians, Mr. Cummings has done in this country, because there have been several other individuals that have asked, I mean, this question repeatedly, and it is important that we bring to their attention for the sake of the argument, you know, that for the sake of the argument, what Mr. Cummings has done. Yes, we are going to do that. Even though the standard for which they are holding Mr. Cummings to, they have not held those other politicians that have leashed on the covers of our state, and the Liberian people have suffered from their actions and inactions, but because of political becloudness, they have been able to ask Mr. Cummings such a question. But like we said, Mr. Cummings has contributed immensely to the health sector of this country through, ensuring that he gave over 500,000 to various hospitals across. He joined the fight against Ebola in this country. He also joined the fight against COVID-19 in this country. He has also joined the fight against illiteracy in this country by providing scholarship opportunities for young Liberians. He has provided, still providing, and by parity of reasoning, he will still provide scholarship opportunities for young Liberians that are, are yearning to go to school. So these are the matters that we have been discussing here this evening, and we like to say thank you for being there with us, or being there with us this evening. And we are about to go to the line. We're about to open the line to take calls. So if you are just joining us, the numbers to call are 0777 959 and 0881871670. 0777 0881871670 are the numbers to call us this evening to be live and participate on the platform as we discuss to you, the national issues that we want to have you informed of. The debate has been ensued as it relates to Mr. Cummings' own contribution. So please dial 0777 959 0881 871670 are the numbers to call us this evening to participate on the platform as we have been discussing several major national issues. Let me have some water. 077795 9959 670 the numbers to call us this evening on Kia Radio, so that you can have your say on the matter that is being talked about. If we are yet to have calls coming in, we also want to have you informed, fellow Liberians, of all of the things Mr. Cummings has done, not all or per se, but some of those things he has done and continue to do. Mr. Cummings also spent he has also spent over 160,000 USD. Over 160,000 USD to tertiary institutions in terms of scholarship support, infrastructure enhancement, and every other matters surrounding those institutions. He has he has been able to form part of the engagement, and he has been able to ensure that everything concerning those institutions, his support is important towards that, and he has done it. So if you are just joining us, please dial 0777 959 0881871670 are the numbers to call us this evening to be live on the show 07777 077795959 and 0881871670 are the numbers to call us this evening. 959959. Wait. So these are the numbers to call us this evening to be live on the platform: 077795959, 0881871670 are the numbers to call this evening to be live on the platform. But again, the contributions made by Mr. Cummings is so immense that we just cannot exhaust his contributions across our country. Yes, this man has been able to to contribute to fostering culture in this country. Our tradition, he has also contributed to them. Our traditional sector, I mean, he has contributed to those people. And through his culture of excellence in health education, Cummings also in 2016 gave the donation of 1,000 USD. He did that. He did that. And I want to bring to your attention, fellow Liberians, the matters Mr. Cummings has been able to contribute to immensely, such that it is something that many of us, as you say, do we have a call there? That many of us, fellow Liberians, have not been able to get informed of. But if you are just joining us, please dial 077795959, 0881871670. These are the numbers to call this evening to participate on the platform. Again, we want to re-emphasize. We want to re-emphasize that no politician in this country, dead or alive, has tend to be corrected. Dead or alive. Dead or alive can be able to match the contribution of Mr. Cummings when it comes to his own, his own contribution in this country. No one can actually do that. So let us dive deep into what Mr. Cummings is going to do in the first 100 days, pardon, were he to be president. We will continue to make these matters very clear as we move forward to 2029, because these are issues that are important for the Liberian people to listen to, have a grasp of, and have an understanding of. Indeed, it is very important. So, Mr. Cummings is going to determine on how to find funds to regulate salary payment for government employees. Yes, that is one of the things he is going to do in the first 100 days, to regularize salary payment. The issue of civil servants' salary not being able to come on time is something where Mr. Cummings is not being so friendly of. It doesn't sit well with him as a person, and he has been able to stress that were he to be president comes 2029. That is one of his first 100 days deliverable. That civil servants, if all civil servants are to take pay under 17 across the board, everyone will take pay under 17. He will regularize. He will regularize. And one, he is also going to implement mandates for improved pay and conditions of service for civil servants, especially the security sector employees, health workers, and teachers. Just what I was saying. He is going to what? Implement mandates for improved pay and conditions for service workers, the health workers, the teachers, and the security personnel of our country. He is going to ensure, fellow Liberians, that they indeed have an improved condition of exactly what it entails to work, what it means to work for your country. What it means for our country. So if you are just joining us, we are discussing Mr. Cummings and his contributions towards this country and the first 100 days. So please dial 07779599959 08818711670. The numbers to call us this evening if you are intending to join the conversation this evening on Kia 95.9 FM. Oh, I want to get hold of something here. I mean, yes. So, if you are just joining up, please dial 07795995995 08818711670. The numbers to call us this evening to participate on the platform. So, again, fellow Liberians, this is what we want to say to you. This is what we want to say to you, that it is high time for us to redirect the course and stand with the political leader of the Alternative National Congress. We owe no one apology as per our support to Mr. Cummings, because we believe that other people have harmed this country so greatly. They have harmed this country to a degree for which we cannot even describe. And it is high time that we be very, very much holistic enough in terms of our own argument against the forces that have harmed this country to say no. We need to change the direction. We need to redirect the course of our country. We need to ensure that we have a conversation that is important surrounding the forward march of this country. And that is what we are proffering here on this platform this evening. That is what we are proffering here on the platform this evening. Yes, that we should be able to project Mr. Cummings, tell you what he has done, what he is capable of doing. And that is our own argument. That is our own argument. So if you are just joining us, please dial 07779599959 08818711670. These are the numbers to call this evening to form part of our show. Those are the things we are talking about. Those are the things we are talking about. So, since in fact we are yet to receive call, to those of you that are listening to us, we want to say we need to change the direction of this country. We as Liberians, we are still unemployed. Many of us are still unemployed. This government is yet to attract foreign direct investment. This government has drastically failed when it comes to attracting foreign direct investment. And it is important that in the wake of all of the failures, for us to note that we cannot go back to failing ourselves. So we must this time around come to terms with the reality that Mr. Cummings is the only person for whom we can look up to change this country. Yes, Mr. Cummings is the only person we can look up to change this country, fellow Liberians. And for us, we remain very unapologetic. I think we have a caller. Good evening, your name is and where are you calling us from? Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Yes, good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from?
Yes, good evening, Isaac. This is Ali Kiadi, National Youth Chair of the ANC.
Ali Kadi, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. You see, things are falling apart in this government. And when things fall apart, you don't expect the center to hold. This government has crumbled before the very people she promised to rescue.
Mm-hmm.
And what we are witnessing is a disaster of a sinking rescue mission. We've seen too many contradictions across the state, things that the government criticized and promised not to do. Today, this government is a culprit on some of the things, if not most of the things she criticized in the yesteryears.
Mm-hmm.
Liberians are watching. And unfortunately for them, that they don't realize that these people did not win the overwhelming majority of the people. The country is split down the middle. And that is why we pity their arrogance to think that they have overwhelming mandate across the state. You won the election with a margin of error. And so the people are now seeing clearly that this government lacks the capacity to what you call foreign direct investment. What we are seeing is a direct cookie investment in the country. And that is very scary for our national security. Those who are supposed to be and breaking corporates to book, they are themselves protector of the cartel. Just today, an individual was arrested at the private bar, a business that Joseph Boaka's son Tantan co-shared. The president was seen at that nightclub witnessing his son perform. Can you tell us that the president did not know that that bar was only investigated for cartel activities? It is very sad. We did not expect this experienced president to be governing in this form of manner. And Liberians are taking note of the excesses and they are marking their decimal performance on the governance scorecard. And that report card will be presented today in 2029. So we appreciate your conversation and Liberians are listening.
Yeah, so before you leave us, may I ask you, we have been able to at this point, respond to some of the questions raised by a certain group of people that have not been able to, come to terms with the reality that Mr. Cummings is one of those persons who have contributed immensely out of governance, even though he's aspiring to go to government. but out of government, he has contributed immensely. I mean, what have you got to say in 1 minute because we have other people on the line?
Thank you, Isaac. And this is a challenge that we have posed to the media's time over number, that no presidential candidate in the history of this country outside of government has done more for Liberia than Mr. Cummings. And that is a challenge that is even valid up to date. From 2014, Mr. Cummings was awarded the highest humanitarian award a country like Liberia can ever give, because of his contribution of over $1 million United States dollars in the fight against Ebola virus.
Of course.
He has contributed over $2 million United States dollars in the education sector. Today, we have Cummings Africa Foundation across all of the major universities sponsoring students in sciences, engineering, and mathematics. That made numerous donations to different hospitals across the country. Cathay Hospital, GFK, Redemption, JJ Dozen, Phoebe Hospital, all these different institutions across the country. Outside of government position, this man can only do so much from the depth of his pocket. And that is why he says only the presidential seat that can ensure that Liberians benefit equitably from the natural resources. And the record has proven that these two parties that have been in charge of the state have failed to deliver on those promises. And that is why we think Mr. Cummings is the most realistic choice for the presidency comes 2029.
Okay, thank you so very kindly, Chairman. Let us take another call there. Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from? Hello? Hello? I think we lost that caller, but please dial again 077759959 08881871670 to have you on the line. Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from?
Yeah, good evening.
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Yeah, this is Fanny Kelly, 1 million reaction follower of Abraham Gosling William.
Okay,
thank you,
fine.
brother, for it. Yeah, thank you for your topic and discussion, brother. Brother, you talk about Samuel Kuga and this. And for me, Samuel Kuga is a Liberian, qualified Liberian, and he has a political right. He has his the Constitution gives him right.
Okay.
For him to associate and with any political party that he want to, or any base that he want to form his, whether he want to be vice president or vice running mate to any political institution. The Constitution gave him that right. One, he qualified, and he qualified because he is a Liberian. So the Constitution gave him that right.
Okay,
let's go to the job issue.
Yeah, please, in 30 seconds, other people are on the line.
Yes, man. Let me tell you, the reason is you see the government official where they are calling their name and you don't see no action is because the cartel is based within the government. And the people that they are near where you are seeing they calling it just because the media landscape is pressuring and the common citizen pressuring the government. That's why you see the people they even calling their name. But brother, it's very laughable for you to see a government where have 48-year experience that come to rescue the people, and up to today they cannot provide for the common people. People are hungry on the street.
Okay, thank you so very much. Let us take another call. Good evening. Your name is and where are you joining us from?
Yeah, good evening, this is George, and good evening to the listening audience. Hello?
Yes, you are live. Please state your name and tell us where you are joining us from.
Okay. Well, my name is Mohammed Donzo Fofana Jr., a member of the Concerned Librarian for Justice. Well, I'm phoning from the Japan Freeway, the Mr. Silver Aluminum Factory.
Mohammed, go ahead, please.
Well, I listened to your explanation. I listened to your preaching of Mr. Comey to become president of this country. But And I want to disagree with you on what you said that Mr. Kumi is the only alternatives for the incoming election 2029,
Okay.
saying that and the ANC, uh, a guy from the ANC said that, the two parties have pitted Liberian people, and I want to disagree with them.
Okay, disagreeing 1 minute, please.
Okay. Well, he said that the two parties failed Liberian people. I want to disagree because you cannot say the two parties failed Liberian people. During the CDC government, present, we are a government that he do a lot of development in this country. That is seen, that is visible, that is all around the country. People are seeing it. That pay most of the feeder roads in Maserado. The people, walk on, feeder walk on good roads, in Maserado. Then somebody is saying that the two parties failed the Liberian people. The Union Party says 12 years has political party. What it did for the Liberian people? They didn't do anything. And then reason that our party left the governance system, that they brought in propaganda lies. Now the lies they brought in, is catching up with them. So 2029, I just want to say, President Weah is coming back to power, and they want to wave.
Thank you very much, Mohammed.
Yeah. Let me learn. They want to wave Mr. Comey can be our president. He got to emerge with the CDC, be a vice president 2036. We can lay a president of this country, because these two people have, ideas, have law for the country to
thank you,
move
Mohammed.
the country forward.
Let us move forward. 077795 9959 088187 1670 are the numbers to dial this evening to participate on the platform. We have at least 4 minutes to go, and if you have been following us on the platform this evening, we've been discussing Mr. Cummings, his contribution to this nation state, and how feeling the administration of Joseph Boca and Jeremiah Kong is, and what we need to do to ensure that we oust them from the governance space of our country, to elect a new cohort of leaders that is where Mr. Cummings came forth with us, electing him as we draw close to 2029, because we believe that he has not contributed to the menaces meted against you, the Liberian people, and he has not, been able to participate in every other wrongdoing across this country wherein we have been harmed and hampered by. So we want to say to those of you that are listening or that have been listening, thank you, for following on this platform this evening. Tomorrow we will be here, same time, same station, to have and yet another fascinating conversation on the national discourse, where major national issues will be talked about, as well as we are going to utilize our time again to amplify Mr. Cummings, humanitarian gestures across the country, and his first 100 days deliverables, what he will be able to do when he is elected president in the first 100 days. Today, we just talked about two where he, initially discussed that he will be able to improve, salary and as well as benefits across our country in the service sector, dealing with security personnel, teachers, and health workers. Tomorrow, we are going to dive deep, analyzing that particular statement and bringing to your attention what it entails, what he meant, and what are some of those deliverables that Mr. Cummings is going to provide, were he to be elected in the first 100 days during the course of his presidency as the president of Liberia, as we all draw closer to 2029. Again, I'm Isaac S. George. Thank you for joining me this evening on the National Discourse, a platform that provides the opportunity for each and every Liberian to have their say. Until now, we want to see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining us.
LIB, stand up. still play my song. Take me back to my homeland. It's the place where I belong.
LIB Future TV, giving voice to progressive Liberians, speaking about politics, entertainment, and local news.